wisdom, which is managing the damage. Just a minute. So we said forgiveness and wisdom. Why wisdom? Because to manage the crisis created after forgiven. To forgive is just like an act. All right? But the crisis left after causing the damage, managing it is the issue. So we have looked at this topic. We've looked at it for how long? Over a month or so. We've looked at it for quite a long time, since December or so, or even November. Right? Quite a while. So we're closing the chapter today. But we said we'll look at different examples, and I want your inputs and recommendations or suggestions with different examples. We said you can forgive and at the same time bring in punitive measures, and yet you're forgiven. We looked at so many aspects different in forgiveness. And we gave the greatest example of God, who, when he said he was going to disinherit the children of Israel, Moses pleaded, and God said, I have pardoned them for their sins. Nevertheless, they will still be punished. So you can't be more forgiving than God, and you can't know forgiveness more than God. And if God forgives and still punishes, then punishment is not unforgiveness. It's part of managing and repairing the damage caused after forgiveness. So we said example number one, here's a man, he got married to his sweetheart. There are 5 children. Is it 5 or 4? I think 4, maybe 4. 4 children. And most of the time, this man was not really working. Are we together? He was not really working. So the wife was doing more of the work, supporting the husband. They bought a land and built a house. And because she's so supportive of her husband, they bought the land in the name of the man and built the house in the name of the man. They're together with 4 kids, living together. Not knowing the man was taking out of the money to marry another woman outside and has another 4 kids outside, which she was not aware of until when he decided to sell the house. He sold the house, and then that's where trouble started. She had to move, and she said she's not moving. So she reported, the bishops came in, they told him to get a refund and get the money back. He said no. And I remember when I went to meet him, he said to me, Pastor, the land is in my name. The papers are in my name. Let's go to court. I'll win. Those were his words. But in over 30 years of being together, she worked hard, took care of him, paid everything, did everything for him. He never said, it's my money. That's what he said. And we said, she has to. He said, he has sold the house. He has sold the house. Let her do her worst. I said, yay. I told mommy back. I said, Mommy, the house is sold. There's nothing. I said, the council of the bishop that said you should go and get a refund. I said, that won't work. Because what I'm fighting for is out of the money, you should buy a small place for you where you can stay so that you don't have to be renting. I said, Mommy said, God told me to send for. I said, then why did you send for the council of bishops? He said, you should have sent for me so that all this one they're telling him to get a refund. I know it won't work. Egocentric won't let it work. And it's not a man that is condescending. When you know a man that is not condescending, is not humble, it's different. He's not even thinking of what she has done for him. So we asked, what should this woman do? I want women to give me suggestions. What should she do? Now, the rule says she must forgive. Someone died and went to hell and saw that there's a section in hell that is occupied by Christians. And they're in torment there, and said that immediately he got there, he knew that because they all came there for unforgiveness. So if you don't forgive, you may be heading for hellfire. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? You might be going in for hellfire. He said there's a section in hell that is for Christians who refuse to forgive. I have the video. One of these days I'll play it for you. So there is no question about whether she should forgive or not. What should she do after she... Well, the man is not even asking for forgiveness. He doesn't even believe he has done anything wrong. He brought his case, and I listened to him, and I think, well, he had no option. Apparently, he had to sell the house, but he should have consulted her. He said, if I consult her, she wouldn't agree for us to sell. So I had to sell. Okay, after selling, what are you going to do? Why don't you get a place for her? Came with all sorts. What should she do? Please. We're managing the hurt created, the damage created after you are forgiven. What should she do? After today, I'm not discussing the topic again, so you better say what you want to say now. And if you ask me any question after today, I'll tell you wait for 18 years' time when we'll revisit this topic. Or, 12 years when we'll revisit, that's when I will answer you. So you better ask the question and bring about the suggestions now. You can think because I'm smiling, you think I'm not very serious. Maybe I should make my face hard. The man, he has decided his own. That, and he has moved to the other lady. He has left her. He has moved in with the other lady. He should have split the money. Men that do that don't split money now. You're talking from a, they say science. This is the result to get under standard temperature. But the temperature is never standard. The pressure is never standard. The temperature is hot. It's not standard. That's a standard condition. He has moved from her house to the house of the other lady with the other children. And that's where he's living. And she's alone. And the person that bought it is telling her you have to get out. Otherwise, I will go to court and throw you out because I bought it legitimately. So what should she do? And he's unrepentant. What is my house? Those were his words to me. It's my house. The papers are in my house. Well, you say maybe she made a mistake. She should have bought it in the name of Mr. and Mrs. Abi. It's love. Do you blame her for doing it? Not really. I don't know what you do for a man you love, you marry for 40 years, you have 4 kids with. That is too much. I don't know. Please, don't just smile, talk. And if you come and meet me after service, Pastor, okay, but I won't answer you. I won't answer you. Oh, yeah, talk. What you should do. There's another case. Why are you thinking of that one? This one, I knew about it. He went abroad, met this white lady, a British lady. He helped him. He went on visiting visa. She paid for his school fees. His school there. They got married. They have 4 kids. They came back to Nigeria. Started a ministry. I remember I visited the ministry when I got saved. Then he said God told him he made a mistake marrying her. That his real wife just showed up. Young, cute, tall, elegant lady. So he left her and married that lady. And the lady was fighting back for a marriage, but nothing worked. She had to relocate back to England. I just met her in the prayer meeting. Nice lady. Oh, spirit-filled. Jesus. Those are the few people who I've met in my life. That when they walk, you could feel God. As they walk, you could almost fall. You hold this place. You feel God. And the man, when he walks, you could feel Satan. Now they live together. I don't know. Now, in this scenario, the white lady, her case is not too difficult. She has to forgive too, right? Well, this is not much of an issue because after 15 years, she couldn't have a child. So she came to meet me, that's the new wife, and said, something told her that they've been telling her to come and see me. And I said, well, the issue for me is that I'm not praying for you to have a child. My own counsel to you is first, leave that goddamn God-forsaken demon you call your husband. And trust me, 18 years ago, most of you can't handle me. 15 years ago, most of you can't handle me. You can't. You will have run away because that's the way I will tell you. Leave that goddamn godless demon you call a husband. May not be that bad, but I'll give some expression to that. I said, number 1, leave him. Number 2, go, if you can't travel to England, send a message to that lady, ask her to forgive you. If she does not forgive you, get some of her friends, her relatives to go and beg her. does not forgive you, go and look for a pastor and tell them to beg her to forgive. If she does not forgive you, then leave her to be a heathen and a publican. That's her cup of tea with God. But the damage is done. No? Wrecked. She wrecked the marriage. Then you now come and meet me. I'll pray for you. You'll get a good husband. And I told her, I cannot guarantee a good husband for you, but I can guarantee you peace. And I can guarantee you peace with God. And I can guarantee you peace of mind. And then let's look at having a child. She got up. She said, I met Bishop, mentioned the bishop, said he prayed for me. He didn't say what you told me. I said, I'm not him. Said I mentioned 3 bishops. They prayed. I said, but you are yet to have a child after they prayed for you. Why then did you come to me? He got up angry, walked away, and told her husband, and that one called people and said, then I wasn't married, that I told his wife to leave him and come and marry me. And a few years later, he has a stroke and he's dead now. When he said, I said, God will judge the matter. Now, the white lady is hurt. The marriage is hurt. I'm not sure she was able to reconcile. There are different cases. Let me keep going on. I expect hands up to comment the first one.
Sir.
Yes.
I wanted to find out about the first one you talked about.
Yes.
What did she just gave everything up for the husband? And all of a sudden the man now said...
No, she married him. They were married. And she was working. He was struggling. His business, he just never made it. He just couldn't work. He couldn't sort himself out. He just could go. He just didn't have that breakthrough. So she was the one funding. She sent the children to school, paid the rent, paid the children's school fees, took care of him. She was very comfortable. Took care of him. Bought the land in his name. Built the house in his name. And while he was doing that, used the money she was giving him to marry another woman outside without her knowledge and had 4 children that she didn't know. And when he sold the house, abandoned her and went to meet the other woman. And then I was called into, by the time they called me in, she said, God told her from the outside, call Pastor K. She didn't come initially. She went to report to the Council of Bishops, who tried to settle it. That's the wife. And when by the time everything has scattered, by the time they called me, everything has scattered. I said, but Mom, why didn't you call me from the onset? I said, there's a way
that God had told her to call
yes, to call me.
Initially.
I said, no, the verdict of the Council of Bishops is wrong. He will not answer it. They told him to go and collect the papers of the house and refund the money from the man he sold it to. I said, no, he won't do that. That's a damage to his ego. He will not agree. And he did not agree. I said, you should have convinced him to take out of the money to buy a place for her. He would have been able to do that. By the time I'm coming in, he has spent a lot of the money. The children had to eventually buy her a house. He didn't buy her a house. She died. And she's dead and he's still alive with the other woman. Oh, she's dead now. The real wife is dead. The bad woman that he married, sorry, God forgive me. The other woman he married outside with 4 kids is still alive and they are together and they are having a nice time. But before she died, what should she have done? Just forgive. That's easy to say, just forgive. Then how does she manage the crisis? See how you're all looking at me. I'm not the one that did it, oh. Don't look at me somehow. A man impregnates his staff. Not his own staff, the wife's staff. She gives birth to a son, and the wife is yet to conceive. And it's her PA. What should she do? Her own PA that comes, runs for the house, goes. Her husband impregnates her. She gives birth to a son. She's yet to conceive. What should she do? I'm just singing one song like this. I'm hearing, why is everywhere so quiet? Is it that you can't manage these scenarios?
Sir, these are very delicate
But they are real.
They are
They are
real.
not fiction. These are real.
These are delicate.
Real situations. You are just looking up and smiling. I want your suggestion. These are real scenarios. One took the wife, had a great career here, took her abroad. It was a medical doctor, took her abroad, banned her from working. Said she should be pounding yam for him. And lost her medical license there, could no longer practice. Then he ditched her and went to marry somebody else. So she had to come struggle, but she still must forgive. These are true life stories. These are people I know. She was a medical doctor, took her abroad. She's the one that took him. She's the one that has the papers. So she took him, paid for his ticket, got a visa for him. They went abroad. Then he stopped her from working. Said she should be pounding yam, sitting at home. She didn't have a child. Then he got somebody else pregnant out there, abandoned her and left her. And by that time, she had lost her license to practice in the US. So she had to come back to Nigeria, start all over again. I know her personally. She even visited this church once. She must forgive. How does she manage the scenario on ground after forgiving? So many scenarios, so many cases. 15 minutes is gone. We're closing this chapter in 15 minutes permanently. And I've not had one suggestion from anybody. I've not had one input from anyone. Speak as you are wired. Speak as you are wired. But don't just say you carry a gun, Sha. And, Then you would have.
Oh, yes.
Take a gun.
Oh, yes.
No.
Oh, I would
No.
No.
Live in Abi.
No. But
I spoke in tongues in that one.
We thank God, sir. No,
all right.
But we are all wired differently.
We are wired differently. All right.
And women that lament, that's another situation. We have to get the foundation of that particular family. Because, all
right.
That's the best way.
No suggestion. Let me continue. I think I'll just close the topic. It looks like you guys are not interested in it. So I think I just want to close it right now. And then the remaining time we have, we just pray and ask God to help everybody manage. Maybe you have a contribution. Now you came late. Should we pardon you for coming late? Should we forgive you? Is that a crime? Is that a sin that is forgivable? All right, it's forgivable, so we must forgive. All right, so I forgive now. Let's manage. How to manage? We're looking at the man that marries the woman. They have 4 kids. Out of all, she's taking care of him. You know the person I'm talking about. He has another wife outside with another 4 kids. Eventually sells the house where the woman, with all the bill together, of course the papers are in his name, sold the property and relocated with the other woman. And of course she must forgive him. If she doesn't forgive him, she will end up in hellfire. And he may end up in heaven with all the atrocities he has committed. So, we've explained clearly, forgiveness is different from managing the crisis after forgiveness. That we said is clear. To forgive is just a simple act, which is demonstrated more of speech. But managing this damage after forgiveness is not speech. It's more than speech. Right? It's the action after. But we've made one thing clear. Seeking justice after forgiveness is not unforgiveness. In certain cases, especially if you're dealing with an unrepentant sinner. Are you getting it? We gave an example of somebody, they do a job. You gave your money to her, and then she used your money for something else that she's supposed to do a job. Then she's kneeling down to say she's sorry, you should forgive her. The question is, what did she use the money for? If I looked and she has an only son, he had an emergency, they needed to do surgery, she couldn't find. She used the money to do surgery for the child to save his life. I can forgive and reschedule payment. If it's something I can walk away from, I can decide to walk away from, depending on how she managed it. If she was lying, your money will soon be ready, next week, she will pay. If she came up openly, immediately, After, kneel down. This is what happened. I don't want to deceive you. Please give me some time. I may forgive. But if those people to say, no, your money is intact. Let me have money. By tomorrow. Tomorrow you call her phone is switched off. Or you will pay. You will pay. You will pay. So the attitude in managing will determine what she did with the money, and the attitude will determine what I will do. Now, if the money I too have to use it to pay somebody, then I might take a scheduled payment from her. That's not unforgiveness. If you use the money to divert to do business, you can use my money to do your own business. Then let me have my money back. If you use it to fund a frivolous lifestyle, which I am not living, you will pay to the last dime. Otherwise, I will take you to court. It is not unforgiveness. Actually, not doing that is stupidity. Did you get it? A lot of people think they are acting unforgiving. They're just being foolish and stupid. But when you see the person's scenario, she's honest with you, she uses it to save her son's life, and it's something you know you can walk away from. You can say, okay, I forgive you, and don't even bother to pay again. But next time you should have told me before touching it. I can do that. Especially if it's something you can walk away from. But you use it to fund a big lifestyle. You know, I had to do my 50th. A whole chief, chairman. No, oh, not only will I make sure I drag you to court, Jesus, and I'm forgiving. They say, they forgive. No. That's not the same. Yes. So we're looking at different examples today as we close. We've done the teaching. I don't want to go back to the teaching again. Yes.
Sir, if can we call this unforgiveness? If the lady files an FIR, he has the man's passport data page, has a copy of the visa, files an FIR with the embassy. And
the man that abandoned her and walked away?
Yes, sold the property because she...
No. That one is not property one. That one, he took her abroad. No, she took him abroad. And after getting him all his papers, he ditched her, got somebody else, abandoned her and walked away. He doesn't have anything. He's abroad. She's the one that funded everything to go abroad. And they're married, yes. Which thing does he have? She's the one that did everything for him. Papers, everything, jobs, He's not legal. What are you filing for? Pursue which one? You make sure it's deported. That's vendetta now. That's not justice, that's vendetta.
Sir, is that unforgiveness, sir? He has been forgiven, sir.
He has been forgiven.
Yes, sir. But
you will not deport him. What do you want to achieve with that? Justice is meant to address not just your hurt, your losses. So if I borrowed you money and you diverted the money to something else, so I gave you something to use my money for and you use it for something else, justice is to get my money back. So that's the justice. Now, you took him abroad, you fine-tuned him, you decked the balance, you polished him, you sifted, barbecued him, sandpapered him. I said I was going to banish him, but I said I was not banish you, that is wrong. So I'm going to leave you. You package him, then when he's packaged and established, he left you for another lady. That's an emotional damage. How do you want to seek redress with that? It's only God that can redress that for you. Going to get him deported is not justice. That's vendetta. That's not justice. That's unforgiveness. What do you want to do with the money he's making? You'll be sharing it. You'll be sharing it. You'll be sharing it. And what will the money do for you?
At least I've been at home, I'm not working.
Yes. Staika said that, but for Jesus, that what will happen, we won't be able to say it. Is that what Staika said? No, what Staika said that, hello ma, please, what Staika said, that for Jesus Christ of Nazareth, that we can't discuss what she will do. So we thank God for Jesus of Nazareth. Abby?
I don't think that a man should say that a woman should not work. Unless you know that your father has more money somewhere. You can fall back. You have a career. Even if.
Hello? 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 Hello, Thomason. Let me mention two. One is Coach Caris. Because he said it publicly. The wife helped him, supported him, financed his masters. And today, he carries her like an egg. It was a gamble. No, it was a gamble. It was a gamble. It was a gamble. Because after becoming what he is today, he could have chosen that she's too old for him. He wants young. I don't know, what do they call it? God will deliver us from this boy. God will deliver us from this boy. Eh? Forget Christian. I mean, the people you think the people we are talking, are they not Christians? Sister Shola, the one that had the one that left the 4 women, the one who had sold the property, he's not a Christian. Leave that one. We haven't seen pastors do worse. Yes? Yes.
I don't want to work. If you can provide for me, because if the man does anything tomorrow, what will you do? And you have children. But that's what he's providing.
And what if it's a job that is a career job that you've lost the opportunity and you can't go back to the career?
That's what we address it. We have to address it and say, okay, at this point you will work and work so that we can live well. Some people they exaggerate their talk. Oh, that pastor, a man, you are a medical doctor. For you to bring that man to the country, to US, you have spent a lot of money, more than $20,000-$30,000. And the man will now come back and say, don't work. The work that brought you to America. They exaggerate sometimes, though. People exaggerate.
No, this is not exaggerate. I know about it.
So when the man goes to America, he now stopped going to work. What?
He started working. He started working.
The man was not working. I said, yeah, let me rest. He came in that way now. Rest, just work enough.
What's wrong? What's wrong with the current? It's fluctuating. But a lot of these things, these women did it out of love and respect for their husbands. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. So explain what it means to open your eyes, please. Time is almost gone. But you didn't answer the first one, the example I gave. You didn't answer the man that impregnated the wife's PA, and she now has a son, and she's yet to conceive, and the PA wants to become the legal wife now. Eh? You ask the husband.
Yes, what do you want? If you say you want to be with her, then I will leave.
No, he loves you, but he wants his child.
No,
No, the wife said she can't give her child to another woman.
let her be with her husband. Me and my husband will continue. We can continue. Let her be with her husband.
No. She's not married to anybody. She's a single lady.
You want to be with your
She's the PA. Hold on, Sashala. She's the PA to the wife of the man. The man got her pregnant. She has a son. The man loves his son. He wants his son. And the wife at home, the man said he loves his wife and he loves his son. And the woman that got pregnant for the husband said she can't release her son to that house. She wants her son with her. And if the man wants his son, he must come and pay dowry on her.
That's why I said,
Or she wants to be the wife.
that's the decision of the man now. I will remain in that house.
Yes.
If the man wants to go and pay dowry, let him go and pay dowry.
Okay, so you will stay.
We adopt a baby.
So hold on. So okay, you hold on, ma.
You make yourself, you take the decision by yourself. I see that pastor makes it like it's going to men too.
No.
So the men are not contributing.
The problem is the men are not contributing. I think God has helped you somehow through there's a challenge with the system, so we might have to continue Bible study. I was going to end it now. We might have to continue until they rectify the system. So that means you can still contribute, and we can hear fully our sister's version of the addressing the situation on ground. This life, yes, it's not difficult. Go on. In any situation, find a way. I'm repeating what she said so you can hear well. Because they're supposed to give you a microphone. They didn't give you the microphone. Oh, the mic is not working. All right, there's a challenge.